The stadium lights flickered on like accusatory eyes, illuminating the mud-caked field where Tyler Hayes stood frozen, his shoulder pads still strapped tight, heart pounding louder than the crowd's dying roar. Faggot! The word exploded from Coach Harlan's lips, spit flying into the crisp autumn air, as the team, his brothers in sweat and glory, turned away one by one, their silence a blade twisting deeper than any tackle. In that instant, Tyler knew. The championship dream, the scouts' whispers, the fragile love he'd hidden with Nicholas. It all shattered under the weight of one leaked photo, one betrayal that tasted like rust in his mouth. Tyler had always been the golden boy of Eldridge High in the Rust Belt town of Milford, Ohio. At 17, he was the quarterback with a cannon arm and a smile that could charm the devil himself. Milford was the kind of place where Friday nights meant football under the floodlights, tailgates with lukewarm beers snuck from Dad's coolers, and dreams of escaping to somewhere bigger than the steel mills that choked the skyline. Tyler's family scraped by on his mom's nursing shifts and his dad's odd jobs fixing transmissions. But on the field, he was untouchable. He led the Eagles to state semis 2 years running, his passes slicing through defenses like they were butter. And in the quiet hours after practice, when the world felt too small, there was Nicholas. Nicky. Riley was the wide receiver, all lean muscle and Irish fire, with freckles across his nose that Tyler traced in the dark of the equipment shed. They met as freshmen, bonding over shared hatred of algebra and a mutual love for Springsteen blasting from Nicky's beat-up Chevy. What started as locker room ribbing turned into stolen glances, then brushes of hands that lingered too long. By junior year, it was everything. Kisses that tasted like Gatorade and desperation, promises whispered under the bleachers that they'd get out of Milford together, hit the pros or college scholarships, build a life where they didn't have to hide. "You're my end zone, Ty," Nicky would say, his green eyes fierce. Always, but secrets in a town like Milford were landmines. Tyler's world narrowed to the field and those hidden moments, until the night of the homecoming bonfire. They'd snuck off to the woods behind the quarry, high on adrenaline from a 28-14 win, bodies tangled in the bed of Nicky's truck. Tyler snapped a photo on his flip phone, a blurry selfie of them laughing, Nicky's arm slung around his neck, the firelight painting them in oranges and golds. "For us," Tyler said, saving it like a talisman. He never thought it'd end up in Coach Harlan's inbox. Monday morning, the team filed into the locker room, steam from the showers hanging thick as fog. Tyler was lacing up when Harlan burst in, face purple as a bruise, waving his ancient desktop printer's output like a flag of war. The photo, grainy but unmistakable, stared back at them all. Gasps rippled through the benches. Tyler's stomach dropped. He shot a look at Nicky, who was pale as milk, staring at his cleats. "Hayes," Harlan bellowed, slamming the paper down. "What the hell is this? You think you can prance around my field turning this into some queer circus?" The room went tomb silent. Tyler's throat closed up. He wanted to explain it was private, it was love, but the words stuck. Harlan didn't wait. "You're off the team. Effective now. We don't tolerate that filth here. Get your shit and go." The betrayal hit like a blindside sack. Tyler's eyes locked on Nicky, pleading. "Say something. Fight for me." But Nicky just swallowed hard, mumbling, "Coach, maybe we," before Harlan cut him off with a glare that could curdle milk. "You got something to add, Riley?" Loyalty means picking a side. Nicky's jaw clenched, and he looked away. That look, it wasn't fear, it was choice. Tyler grabbed his bag, the metal lockers blurring through hot tears, and walked out into the gray Ohio drizzle, the door slamming like a guillotine. Milford turned on him overnight. Whispers in the hallways morphed into slurs scrawled on his locker, "Fairy QB," in red marker. His mom cried at the kitchen table, blaming herself for not seeing it sooner. His dad, a quiet man who'd cheered from the 50-yard line every game, just clapped a hand on his shoulder and said, "We'll figure it out, son." But Tyler knew there was no figuring. The scouts stopped calling. College dreams evaporated. And Nicky? He didn't call, didn't text, didn't even glance his way in the crowded cafeteria. A week later, Tyler overheard him in the parking lot, laughing with the guys about that drama with Hayes. Crazy, right? The knife twisted deeper. Tyler withdrew, holing up in his room with dog-eared copies of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, the only book that made him feel seen. Whitman, with his songs of men loving men under open skies, it was a lifeline. He started running at dawn, pounding the cracked sidewalks until his lungs burned, channeling the rage into miles. School became a gauntlet. He skipped pep rallies, ate lunch in the library. One day, a guidance counselor, Mrs. Patel, pulled him aside. "Tyler, you're more than football. Have you thought about art, design?" She slid him a brochure for a summer program at Ohio State Architecture Camp. It was a spark in the dark. That summer, Tyler escaped to Columbus, trading Milford's shadows for drafting tables and scale models. He fell in love with the precision of blueprints, the way lines could rebuild what words tore down. By senior year, he was acing AP classes, applying to schools on partial scholarships. Nicky graduated early, enlisting in the Marines. Rumor had it he'd proposed to his high school sweetheart, Sarah, the cheer captain, right after prom. Tyler saw the engagement photo in the local paper. Nicky in dress blues, beaming beside her. No trace of the boy who'd once called him his everything. College at Kent State was freedom wrapped in flannel and craft beer. Tyler came out fully, joining the GSA, dating a theater kid named Alex who wore eyeliner and quoted Sondheim. But Nicky lingered like a ghost. Late-night what-ifs, dreams where green eyes apologized in the rain. Architecture school honed him. Studios till dawn, critiques that bruised egos but built resilience. He graduated top of his class, landing a gig at a Pittsburgh firm specializing in public works. At 25, he was lead on a library renovation, pouring his soul into spaces that welcomed everyone. Then, the call came. Milford Stadium, the beating heart of the town, was crumbling. Asbestos in the rafters, leaks turning the turf to swamp. The town council, desperate after a mill closure gutted the budget, put out an RFP for redesign. Tyler's firm bid, and against all odds, he got the nod. "Go home," his boss said, clapping his back. "Show 'em what you're made of." Tyler stared at the contract, pulse racing. Home. The word tasted like ash and redemption. He arrived in Milford on a sticky July afternoon, the air thick with cicada hum and the faint tang of the river. The old stadium squatted on the edge of town like a forgotten relic, chain-link fence sagging around its husk. Tyler parked his hybrid SUV, sleek, out of place among the F-150s, and stepped out, sketchpad under arm. Workers milled about, hard hats glinting in the sun. And there, leaning against a rusted goalpost, was Nicky. 15 years had etched lines around those green eyes, silver threading his red hair, but he was still broad-shouldered, still the guy who'd caught every pass Tyler ever threw. Now he was the sights foreman, per the clipboard in his calloused hand. Marines had toughened him. A faded tattoo of an eagle peeked from his sleeve. "Ty," he said, voice rough as gravel. Straight, no preamble. Tyler's heart stuttered. "Nicky." They stood there, the distance between them a chasm wider than the field. Nicky shifted, glancing at the blueprints Tyler clutched like a shield. "Heard you were coming back. Designing this beast." "Ha!" Tyler nodded, throat dry. "Yeah. Making it better. Inclusive." The word hung heavy. Flags for Pride Month. Gender-neutral restrooms. Murals of local heroes. Queer and straight alike. Nicky's jaw ticked. Coach Harlan's on the council now. Pushing back hard. Tyler met his gaze. Steel in his spine. "Let him. This is my field now." That night, Tyler checked into the Milford Inn, a faded motor lodge with neon buzzing vacancy. He spread his plans across the desk. The stadium reborn on paper. Soaring arches like open arms, a rainbow prism etched into the press box glass. But sleep evaded him, memories crashing like waves. Nicky's laugh in the cab of that truck. The bonfire's warmth. The photo that ended it all. Who sent it? Harlan, a jealous teammate? Or Nicky, scared straight by small-town expectations? Morning brought site visits. Tyler in chinos and safety vest, directing crane ops while ignoring the stares from locals. Milford remembered. At the diner for coffee, old-timers muttered about that boy who shamed the team, but there were whispers too, his mom's pride, friends who'd messaged support from afar. And Nicky. Always Nicky, orbiting like a reluctant moon. By week's end, they were forced into sync. Nicky handling labor, Tyler the vision. Sparks flew, not just professional. A brush of hands over a level, eyes lingering too long. "You look good, Ty," Nicky said once, voice low. "Always did." Tyler pulled back, walls up. Betrayal wasn't a scar. It was a fault line. But Milford worked its magic, that sticky nostalgia weaving them closer. Late nights at the site, floodlights humming, they'd share smokes, Tyler's vice revived, and stories. Nicky talked Marines. Sand in his boots, buddies lost to IEDs, the ring from Sarah that he'd buried after the divorce. She knew, Ty, about us. That's why it fell apart. Tyler's chest ached. You chose her. Chose them. Nicky's face crumpled. I was a kid. Scared shitless. Harlan had my dad on speed dial. Threatened to pull my enlistment if I didn't. He trailed off, kicking dirt. I'm sorry. God. Ty. I've been sorry every day. The apology landed soft. But Tyler wasn't ready to catch it. Not yet. As summer bled into fall, the stadium rose. Foundations poured. Steel beams kissing the sky. Tyler wove in touches. A plaque for overlooked players. Accessible ramps for wheelchairs. A quiet garden for reflection. Locals trickled in. Curious. His mom baked pies for the crew. His dad, gruff as ever, showed up with tools. Even Mrs. Patel, retired, sketched mural ideas. But Harlan loomed, rallying holdouts at council meetings. "This ain't San Francisco," he'd thunder. "We keep it traditional." The first real clash came in September, leaves turning the hillsides crimson. Tyler presented renderings at Town Hall. The stadium, a beacon of pride. Murmurs rippled. Harlan stood, vein bulging. "Hayes here wants to turn our field into a rainbow parade." What's next? Drag shows at halftime. Laughter, ugly and sharp. Tyler rose, voice steady. "It's about everyone belonging. The kids who come after us, they deserve that." Eyes met his, some cold, some softening. Nikki, in the back, nodded once, fierce. After, in the parking lot, Harlan cornered them. "You think you can waltz back, Riley, after what you did?" Nikki stepped forward, chest out. "What I did, coach? You blackmailed me. Tyler's building something real. You should try it." Harlan's face twisted, rage, then something like shame. He stalked off, but the seed was planted. Cracks in the old guard. By October, Tyler and Nikki were inevitable. A rain-soaked night, tarps flapping like sails, they took shelter in the half-built press box. Whiskey from Nikki's flask burned going down. "I kept the photo," Nikki confessed, pulling a crumpled print from his wallet. "Faded, creased, but there's the only copy I have left." Tyler's resolve cracked. Their kiss was thunder, fierce, forgiving, tasting of regret and rain. They tumbled onto a pile of drop cloths, hands rediscovering paths long overgrown, bodies remembering what hearts had tried to forget. It was messy, glorious. Mornings after, coffee shared in Nikki's trailer, plans for after Tyler to Pittsburgh, Nikki talking trade school for construction management. "We do this right this time," Tyler said, tracing Nikki's tattoo. "No hiding," Nikki grinned. "That old fire. End zone. Ty." Always. But Milford wasn't done testing them. Harlan, cornered and bitter, struck back. Anonymous letters to the paper. "Pervert architect corrupting our youth." Vandalism hit the site. Spray-painted slurs on fresh concrete. "Go home, fags." Tyler's firm wavered, threatening pullout. Nikki found the leak. A crew kid, Harlan's nephew, egged on by the old man. Confrontation brewed. The vandalism escalated like a storm front rolling in from Lake Erie. First words, then symbols. One dawn, Tyler arrived to find Sodom Stadium, scrawled in dripping red across the east stands, the paint still tacky under his boot. His crew grumbled, some quitting on the spot, muttering about bad juju. Nikki rallied them with barked orders and free pizza, but his eyes were haunted. "This is on me," he said later, as they hosed down the bleachers, water sheeting silver in the rising sun. "Harlan's using the past to bury us." Tyler shook his head, suds foaming on his jeans. "No. It's on him. Always was." But doubt gnawed. Back in Pittsburgh, his boss's emails turned terse. "Budget overruns. PR nightmare. Wrap it or we walk." Tyler stared at his laptop in the motel room, cursor blinking like a heartbeat. He could fold, take the high road out. But this was Milford, his bones in the soil, his scars from the falls. And Nikki, God, Nikki, with his quiet strength pulling him back. They leaned harder into each other, nights blurring into a rhythm of blueprints and bodies. Nikki's trailer became sanctuary. a single wide with sagging porch and a fridge stocked with Yangling. Tyler cooked pasta from his mom's recipes, arguing over portions like old times. "You're too skinny," Tyler teased, forking bites across the table. Nikki's laugh rumbled deep. "Blame the Marines. They starved us for character." Post-dinner, they'd sprawl on the couch, Springsteen low on the stereo, hands wandering lazy. It was healing, this reclaiming, Nikki's fingers spelling apologies on Tyler's skin, Tyler's whispers mapping futures over Nikki's heart. Yet the town pulsed with undercurrents. Tyler's mom, Ellen, hosted a barbecue for the crew, her backyard strung with lights like fireflies. Neighbors came wary, plates piled with slaw and ribs. But stories flowed. Dads admitting they'd lost sons to the mills, moms sharing losses to opioids. Tyler spoke of the stadium's garden, a space for memorials, benches engraved with names. "For the ones we couldn't save," he said. A hush fell, then nods. Even Sarah showed, post-divorce glow and 2 kids in tow. She hugged Tyler fierce. "Nikki was an idiot back then. But he's yours now. If you want him." Harlan's shadow lengthened. At the next council meeting, he presented evidence, doctored photos from Tyler's old phone, twisted to imply predation. "This man's dangerous," he blustered, voice cracking on the edge of mania. Gasps echoed the chamber. Tyler, seated front row, felt the room tilt. Nikki surged to his feet. "Lies, Harlan. You sent that photo yourself, trying to break us so you'd keep your grip on this town." Proof tumbled out. Nikki's old emails, Harlan's threats archived like ghosts. The room erupted shouts, chairs scraping. Councilwoman Reyes, a Latina mom with steel in her spine, called order. "Enough. We vote on the plans as is. Progress or perish." Milford. Victory tasted bittersweet, laced with Harlan's glare as he stormed out. That night, Tyler and Nikki celebrated in the truck bed, parked at the quarry overlook, stars pricking the velvet sky. Beers clinked, then lips. "We did it," Tyler murmured, head on Nikki's chest. But Nikki tensed. "Not yet. Harlan's not done." Tyler pushed up, searching those green depths. "Then we face him. Together." November winds howled, stripping leaves to bone. The stadium skeleton stood defiant, trusses gleaming, turf rolls unspooling like green promises. Tyler oversaw the mural install. Local artists, queer and ally, painting visions of Milford's soul. Steelworkers arm in arm, lovers under rainbows, a quarterback's silhouette hurling light. Crowds gathered, phones out. Social media buzzed, Milford pride trending local, then regional. Tyler's firm called, "Keep it up. This is gold." But betrayals echo lingered. One evening, as dusk bruised the horizon, Tyler found Nikki on the field, staring at the old scoreboard, faded numbers frozen at 21-20, their last win. "Remember that game?" Nikki asked, voice thick. Tyler nodded, memory sharp. Fourth quarter, Hail Mary pass, Nikki's dive into the end zone. "Glory. You caught it perfect." Nikki turned, eyes wet. "I dropped the next one. The important one." "You," the confession spilled then, raw as an open wound. Harlan hadn't just threatened. He'd cornered Nikki post-photo leak, promising ruin, scholarships yanked, family shamed. He said if I stayed quiet, it'd blow over. That you'd thank me someday for saving the team. Nikki's fists clenched. I believed him. Or I wanted to. Cowardice. Pure. Tyler listened. Rage and ache warring. You let them win. Nikki nodded. Broken. But I'm fighting now. They embraced there. Under the emerging lights. Sobs muffled in flannel. Forgiveness wasn't a switch. It was this messy, earned, human. Harlan's endgame hit mid-month. A petition drive. Save our stadium traditional values. Signatures piled at the diner. Church. Whispers turned hostile again. Tires slashed on Tyler's SUV. Eggs on Nikki's trailer. Tyler's mom called. Voice quaver. They're saying you're destroying us. Baby. He drove to her house. Found her folding laundry. Eyes red. Mom. It's progress. She cupped his face. Then make them see it. The climax brewed at the groundbreaking ceremony. Shovels in earth. Mayor's speech on unity. Harlan crashed it. Megaphone in hand. Flanked by sign wavers. This is blasphemy. God's field. Not some gay monument. The crowd parted. Tension crackling. Tyler stepped forward. Mic trembling in grip. Coach, you built this team on fear. I built it on heart. And now, I'm building a home for all of it. Nikki flanked him, hand on shoulder. We all bleed red here. Black and gold. Let the kids play without your hate. Murmurs swelled to cheers. Workers, families, even old teammates from the bleachers. Harlan faltered, megaphone dropping. In the hush, a kid, maybe 14, with Tyler's old jersey, yelled, "Build it, Mr. Hayes." The dam broke. Applause, defiant. Harlan slunk away, defeated shell. Later, cops hauled him in, tampering charges from the vandalism. Milford exhaled. Winter crept in, frost etching the beams. Tyler and Nikki worked side by side, breaths clouding in cold. Romance deepened. Drives to Cleveland for shows. Nikki learning to sketch simple lines. Tyler tasting home in Nikki's stews. Pittsburgh or here? Nikki asked one night, tangled in sheets. Tyler smiled. Wherever you are, but doubt shadowed. Tyler's firm offered promotion. Lead architect. Big city lights. Come with me, he urged. Nikki hesitated. Milford's my roots. But you're my future. The choice loomed, unspoken. Spring thaw brought the final push. Seating installed. Lights tested in brilliant arcs. Opening night loomed, charity game. All proceeds to youth scholarships. Invites went wide. Scouts, press, queer orgs from Columbus. Tyler's mural gleamed. Diverse faces. Hands linked. A subtle end zone embrace. Then, the gut punch. A week before kickoff, Tyler's phone buzzed. Nikki's ex, Sarah. Frantic. He's leaving. Enlisting again. Says he can't hack the spotlight. Tyler raced to the trailer. Found Nikki packing duffel. Boots. Fatigues. That eagle tattoo stark under fluorescence. What the hell? Tyler choked. Nikki wouldn't meet his eyes. Harlan's out on bail. Stirring shit. Town splitting, half love the stadium, half hate the agenda. I can't drag you down. Marines were safe. Simple. Betrayal. Round 2 sharper. Self-inflicted. You're running. Again. Tyler's voice cracked. After everything? Nikki's shoulders slumped. I love you. That's why. Protect what's good. Tyler stormed out, rain lashing his face. He drove the quarry, tires spinning mud, screaming into the void. Love wasn't enough? Pride, rebuilt brick by brick. Crumbling, dawn found him at the site, alone. Crew arrived, puzzled. Where's Riley? Tyler straightened. Gone. We finish without him. Days blurred. Commands barked. Sleep stolen. The stadium rose, defiant. Game night. Stands packed. Air electric with hot dogs and hope. Tyler in the press box, overlooking his creation. Arches embracing the night. Prism glass scattering rainbows. Halftime. Mayor's ribbon cut. Plaque unveiled. For the unbroken, Tyler Hayes. Cheers thundered. Then, from the tunnel, Nikki emerged. Not in fatigues, but jersey, number 22. Couldn't miss this, he said, mic'd up. Ty built this. For us. All of us. He dropped to knee. Not proposal, but plea, ring from pocket. Simple band. Stay. Build with me. Tyler descended. Tears blurring lights. You idiot. Laughter. Kiss public. Proud. Crowd roared. But wait, the real climax? Harlan in the stands. Alone. Watching his son. A quiet kid. Holding a sign. Proud of Dad's team. No. Harlan approached post-game. Hand out. You win. Hayes. Gruff. But real. Forgiveness. Townwide. Summer's echo lingered into the new season, but Milford's rebirth felt fragile, like new sod under cleats. Tyler and Nikki settled into a rhythm that was equal parts tender and tentative. Nikki's trailer upgraded with Tyler's design touches. Open shelves for blueprints. A king bed that didn't creak. Springsteen vinyls stacked by the turntable. Mornings started with coffee on the porch. Watching deer pick through the mist-shrouded fields. Nikki's arm heavy across Tyler's shoulders. Feels like a dream, Nikki murmured one dawn, lips brushing Tyler's temple. One I don't want to wake from. Tyler leaned into it, but the past was a stubborn stain. Harlan's apology at the game had been public theater, handshake stiff, eyes averted, but private words followed. A note slipped under the trailer door. I was wrong. For my boy. Tyler burned it, ashes scattering on the wind. Too little, he told Nikki over dinner, fork stabbing potatoes. He broke us. Nikki's green eyes softened. He broke himself more. Look at him now, coaching Pee-wee. Quiet like. The town shifted gears. Eldridge High's Eagles played their first home game under the new lights. Stands groaning with bodies. Dads in Eagles caps. Moms with thermoses. Kids waving foam fingers. Tyler and Nikki sat midfield. VIP seats etched with their initials. Subtle, but there. The win was electric, 35-14. Quarterback kid with Tyler's arm launching lasers. Post-game. High fives rained. A grandmother hugged Tyler, whispering, "Thank you for the garden. Buried my husband there yesterday." Her words landed heavy, humanistic weight of the work. Professionally, Tyler thrived. His firm's buzz grew, articles in Architectural Digest. From gridiron exile to stadium savior. Offers poured. Chicago high-rises. LA stadiums. But Milford rooted him. He started a mentorship program, design workshops for queer youth. drafting dreams on butcher paper. Nikki enrolled in community college, construction management, acing exams with Tyler's flashcards. "You're rubbing off," Nikki joked, kissing him over textbooks. Nerd. Romance deepened in stolen pockets. Weekend hikes in Hocking Hills, hands clasped on route-strewn trails. Drives to Toledo for dive bars with drag shows. Nikki's cheers louder than anyone's. Sex was rediscovery. Slow mornings with sunlight slanting through blinds. Urgent nights after barbecues. Bodies slick with sweat and certainty. "I love you," Nikki said post-climax one evening, tracing Tyler's jaw. "Whole. No parts." Tyler believed him, mostly. Scars faded, but trust was a slow rebuild. Conflict simmered beneath. Harlan's shadow? No. Deeper, Nikki's restlessness. Late calls from Marine buddies. Stories of deployments that lit his eyes. "Miss the brotherhood," he'd admit, staring at the tattoo. Tyler heard the pull, the simplicity of orders over choices. "We're your unit now," he'd counter, pulling him close. But doubt whispered, was Milford enough? Was he? Fall brought harvest festivals. Pumpkins lining Main Street, air crisp with cider and leaves. The stadium hosted its first non-football event, Pride in the Heartland, a low-key fair with booths for local LGBTQ+ orgs, face painting in rainbow hues, a band from Kent covering KD. Lang. Tyler organized. Nikki muscled tense. Crowds swelled. Families picnicking on the turf. Elders nodding to Judy Garland tunes. But pushback lurked. Protesters at the gates. Signs bobbing. Adam and Eve. Not Adam and Steve. Harlan wasn't among them, but his nephew was. Face twisted young and mean. The spark ignited mid-afternoon. A scuffle at the entrance. Protester shoving a drag queen in heels, glitter scattering like shrapnel. Nikki waded in, pulling them apart. "Cool it, kid." The nephew swung wild, fist glancing Nikki's cheek. Chaos erupted, shouts, phones filming. Tyler rushed over, heart hammering. "Enough!" Security hauled the kid away, but the mood soured. Attendees drifting. Whispers of "not safe here." Backstage. In the equipment room, Tyler patched Nikki's split lip with ice. "Hero complex," he muttered, thumb gentle on the bruise. Nikki winced, grin crooked. "Had to. For us." But his eyes, distant, like sand-swept memories. "Ty, what if this town's too small? For you? For what you deserve?" The question hung, a fault line cracking open. Tyler pulled back. "Don't. Not now." They salvaged the night, speeches on resilience, a unity march around the field, hands linked, diverse and defiant. But sleep evaded Tyler, staring at the ceiling fan's whirl. Nikki's words echoed his own fears. Success pulling him east, roots tugging west. Betrayal's ghost, self-sabotage. November elections loomed. Harlan's allies gunning for council seats on an anti-progress platform. "Roll back the rainbow," their flyers sneered. Tyler campaigned quiet, door-to-door with Ellen, knocking on neighbors who'd signed Harlan's old petition. "The stadium brought jobs," he'd say. "Tourists. Pride in our kids." Doors cracked wider. A welder admitting, "Lost my brother to AIDS in the 80s. 'Bout time we owned it." Votes trickled. Nikki threw in two, but tension brewed. One debate night, At the VFW hall smelling of varnish and regret. Harlan's proxy, a burly ex-linebacker, roared. Hayes turned our field into a freak show. Boos. Cheers. Tyler took the mic. Voice steady. It's a home show. For every freak who's ever felt alone here. Applause swelled. But backstage, Nikki paced. They're not wrong. Ty is changing too fast. Folks feel pushed. Tyler whirled. Pushed? They pushed me out. Heat rose. Old wounds ripping. You get it now? How it feels? Nikki deflated. I do. That's why I'm scared. For them. For us. The fight simmered cold, silences at dinner, touches withheld. Climax brewed in December, snow blanketing the stadium like forgiveness. A holiday game, Eagles versus rivals, stands festive with wreaths and hot cocoa. Tyler and Nikki ringside, but fracture lines showed. Nikki's laughs forced. Tyler's smiles tight. Halftime. Charity auction. Tyler's signed blueprint fetching thousands for the youth fund. Then, disaster, fire alarm wails. Smoke billowing from the concessions. Panic rippled. It was arson. Harlan's nephew again. Matched to rags in a fit of sending a message. Flames licked the booth. Acrid black plumes staining the sky. Evacuations chaotic. Kids crying. Elders shuffling. Tyler herded stragglers. Nikki climbing ladders to douse hotspots with extinguishers. Sirens wailed distant, then near. The blaze contained quick. Damage minor, but the message landed. Hate's not dead. In the aftermath, snow falling soft on chaos. Tyler found Nikki by the smoldering wreck. Fists bloodied from punching a beam. This is my fault, Nikki growled. Stirring the pot, Tyler grabbed his collar. No. It's theirs. And yours if you quit now. Nikki's eyes blazed. Quit? I'm enlisting. Tomorrow. Can't watch it burn, you. This place. Betrayal. Fresh and flaying. Running. Again. Tyler's voice broke. I thought we were end zone. Nikki's tears tracked cold cheeks. I love you too much to break you more. He walked into the night. Duffel slung. Leaving Tyler knee-deep in ash. Heart shattered. Tyler rebuilt alone. Days blurred. Investigations. Insurance claims. Crew pep talks. The nephew confessed, Harlan uninvolved. But the old coach resigned from Pee Wee League. Note to Tyler. End it. For my family. Human. Broken. Nikki shipped out. Letters sparse. Deserts endless. Miss your lines. Tyler wrote back. Blueprints enclosed stadium expansions. Their future sketched. Milford healed slow. Town halls on healing. Vigils with candles in the garden. Tyler's mom moved closer. Ellen's hugs a bomb. Spring bloomed tentative. Stadium reopened with a memorial game. For lost causes. Unity. Tyler in the box. Scanning empty seats beside him. Halftime. Surprise. Nikki. Stateside early. In civvies. Mic in hand. Couldn't stay away. He knelt. Band glinting. Marry me. Ty. Here. Build forever. Tears. Yes, crowd roaring. But Tyler pulled him up. Not yet. Earn it. Laughter. Kiss. The game resumed. Passes flying true. The proposal hung between them like a half-caught pass. Thrilling. Uncertain. Tyler didn't say yes outright. Instead, He challenged Nikki to the off-season grind, therapy sessions in Columbus, where a no-nonsense counselor unpacked marine ghosts and Milford scars. "Communication's your playbook," she said, glasses perched like a referee's whistle. Nikki grumbled through it, but showed. Journals filled with regrets. Dreams of a workshop where he'd build custom homes with Tyler's designs. Partners, he called them, the word tasting like commitment. Milford, meanwhile, exhaled into renewal. The arson trial wrapped swift. Kid sentenced to community service, painting over his own graffiti with murals of hope. Harlan faded to the edges, spotted at diners, nursing coffee, nodding to Tyler in passing. No words, but a truce in the quiet. The town leaned progressive. New council diverse. Budgets for mental health outreaches. A queer youth center in the Old Mill Annex. Tyler consulted. Pro bono. Sketching spaces that breathed welcome. High ceilings for dreams. Nooks for whispers. Their life wove domestic. American as apple pie with a twist. Weekends at the farmer's market. Haggling over heirloom tomatoes. Game nights with Ellen and her new beau. A retired teacher with bad jokes. Sex evolved to less frantic. More intimate. Mornings where Nikki mapped Tyler's freckles like constellations. Evenings where Tyler read Whitman aloud. Voices tangling soft. "We contain multitudes," Tyler quoted. Fingers in red hair. Nikki smirked. "Yeah, but mine's mostly you." Yet conflict simmered, inevitable as thunderheads. Tyler's firm pushed harder. A bid on a massive NYC arena. Lead architect spot. "This is your shot," his boss emailed. Attachments gleaming with skyline renders. Salary tripled. Prestige infinite. Tyler stared at the screen in his home office. A converted shed behind the trailer. Walls papered in swatches. "What if?" he asked Nikki over stir-fry. Chopsticks pausing. Nikki's fork scraped plate. "Go. You're meant for bigger." But his eyes guarded, that old fear flickering. Tyler pressed. "With you." Nikki shrugged. Too casual. Long distance worked in college. Right? Like, both knew. The fight brewed slow. Tyler snapping at forgotten chores. Nikki retreating to the garage. Wrench turning furious on engines. Climax crested in July. Heat wave baking the asphalt. The NYC bid deadline loomed. Tyler flying for interviews, tailored suit. Portfolio crisp. Airport goodbye. Nikki's hug too tight. Kiss lingering. "Kill it, Ty." Tyler nodded. Boarding with gut twisted. New York dazzled. Skyline teeth biting clouds. Meetings in glass towers where execs praised his authentic voice. Offers flowed, yes. With perks. Corner office. Team of his own. But nights in sterile hotels. Tyler scrolled Nikki's texts. "Miss you." Sights humming. Photos of the stadium. Summer league kids practicing under lights. Home called louder than ambition. Betrayal struck on return. Tyler's key turned in the trailer lock to silence. Note on the counter. "Couldn't hold you back. Enlisted again 6 months. Then we talk." Love. And heart plummeted. Running. Third time charmed. They called it in the core. Tyler's rage boiled. Texts unanswered. Calls to voicemail. He drove the stadium. Empty under moon. Screaming at the stars. End zone. My ass. Days fractured. Tyler threw into work. Overhauling the youth center solo. Lines sharp as accusations. Ellen found him there one dawn, coffee in hand. He's scared, baby, of losing you to the world, Tyler scoffed. He lost me by leaving, but doubt crept. Was this on him? Shining too bright? Milford rallied unwitting. A town picnic at the stadium, blankets on turf. Bands crooning country covers. Tyler attended numb, plate untouched. Then, the kid from Pee-wee, Harlan's grandson, gap-toothed and bold, tugged his sleeve. Coach says you're why grandpa's nicer. Wanna throw? Tyler knelt, spiral arcing true into small gloves. Laughter cracked his shell. News hit. Nikki's unit deployed early, border skirmish, details classified. Worry nod. Tyler stalked news feeds, prayed to Whitman's open road. Letters arrived, scrawled hasty, dust and doubt. Remember the quarry? That's us, solid under. Tyler wrote back, pouring heart. Blueprints of a life. Not stadiums but homes, there's, with porch swings and garden plots. Fall leaves turned. Elections swept progressives in. The youth center opened, ribbon cut by that same kid. Harlan in the crowd, clapping slow. He approached Tyler after, voice gravel. Saw your work. Good bones. Pause. Nikki. He's like you. Stubborn. Tyler nodded, throat tight. Runs in the family? Winter bit hard. Snowdrifts burying the trailer. Tyler shoveled alone, breath fogging resolve. Then, stateside call. Nikki, voice tinny over line. Home tomorrow. Don't hate me. Tyler's pulse thundered. Earn it. Reunion at the airport. Nikki gaunt. Duffel slung. Eyes searching. Embrace fierce. Airport bustle fading. I panicked. Nikki confessed in the truck. Hands white-knuckled on wheel. You ascending. Me stuck. Thought I'd drag you. Tyler cupped his face. Idiot. We ascend together. Healing's path. Couples counseling. Where they mapped triggers like blueprints. Nikki quit the Corps for good. Diving into classes full-time. Tyler turned down NYC. Countered with remote lead on the project. Base in Milford. Our field, he told the firm. They bit. Romance reignited. Deeper. Valentine's at the quarry. Truck bed picnic under stars. Nikki's ring refitted, gold band. Engraved end zone. Tyler said yes. Tears salting wine. Wedding plans bloomed small. Stadium altar. Spring equinox. Guests from Pittsburgh to Pee-wee. But humanism's core. Not perfection. But grace. Harlan invited. Tentative bridge. He came. Suit ill-fit. Sat back row. Post-vows. Handshake evolved to hug. Gruff. Proud of him. Of you both. Tyler's mom danced with him. Ellen's laugh bright. Years folded. Stadium legacy grew. National model. Documentaries filmed. Tyler and Nikki built their home. Modern rancher on the hill. Views of lights. Kids came via surrogacy. 2 boys. Freckled and fierce. Tossing spirals in the yard. Nikki coached. Tyler designed their school expansions. One dusk. Atop the press box. Grandsons tumbling below. Tyler leaned on Nikki. We rebuilt more than brick. Nikki kissed his temple. Pride. All of it. Decades distilled to heartbeats. But Milford's pulse quickened eternal under those lights. Tyler Hayes Riley. Gray threading his temples like silver seams in steel. stood on the 50-yard line. Clipboard obsolete but habit held. 52. He was the town's unofficial architect laureate. Schools, bridges, a river walk that drew hipsters from Cleveland, all laced with his signature. Inclusive curves, spaces that whispered welcome. The stadium, now Eldridge Pride Field, hosted legends, high school heroes turned pros, charity clashes with celebrities, even a queer film festival under the stars. Banners fluttered, rainbow stripes woven with black and gold, unbroken since '05. Nikki, broader now with desk job paunch from running the construction co-op, refereed the chaos with that Irish grin, whistle around neck. Their boys, Liam and Finn, 8 and 6, red-headed whirlwinds, darted the sidelines, tackling each other in mock scrums. "Dad, watch this," Liam yelled, spiraling a Nerf ball Tyler's way. He caught it one-handed, arm still cannon true, and lobbed it back. Laughter echoed, pure as first loves. Life wasn't linear triumph. Scars mapped their map. The boys knew the story, bedtime tales of the quarterback and receiver, the coach's cruelty, the rebuild that birthed family. "Did Grandpa Harlan really say sorry?" Finn asked once, gap-toothed earnest. Tyler nodded, ruffling curls. "With actions, kiddo. That's the real play." Harlan had softened slow. Grandkids thawed him, volunteering at the youth center, reading to tots with a voice like rumbling thunder. He passed quiet 5 years back, heart attack mid-coach speech, but his plaque in the garden read, "Learned late, loved always. Betrayals? Echoes, not echoes." Nikki's wanderlust nipped once more. A job offer in Texas post-boy's birth. Bigger builds, he'd tempted. Tyler called bluff. End zones here. Nikki stayed, building local legacies instead. Tyler's own temptation, a DC commission, White House adjacent, whispering policy change. He consulted remote, mentoring from Milford. Roots deeper than ambition, he'd tell ments, young queers with fire in their sketches. Romance endured, evolved, less firestorm, more hearth. Anniversaries at the quarry, truck now a hybrid, bed feathered with quilts Ellen quilted. They'd make love slow, hands knowing every line, whispers of gratitude. "Still my receiver," Tyler murmured post one such night, stars winking complicit. Nikki chuckled, breath warm on neck. "And you're the throw," mornings. Pancakes flipped by tiny hands, coffee black for Nikki, cream for Tyler. Evenings, board games dissolving to tickle fights, boys' giggles the soundtrack. Humanism bloomed in margins. The co-op hired ex-cons, vets with PTSD, Nikki's gentle coaching turning hammers to homes. Tyler's workshops swelled. Diverse faces, from trans teens to immigrant moms, dreaming structures that housed their truths. One mentee, a black non-binary kid named Jordan, designed a community center edition, curves echoing African fractals, safe rooms for coming outs. Tyler teared unveiling it. This is why. Conflict, life's quiet storms. Liam's first crush, a boy from soccer, awkward handholds at the park. Bullies whispered, echoes of old slurs. Tyler and Nikki coached calm. "Own it, son. We're your backfield." Finn struggled quieter, ADHD diagnosis. School a gauntlet. Nights of flashcards and frustration. Nikki's patience saintly. Tyler's designs turning study nooks to forts. "We're a team," they'd affirm. Huddles in the kitchen. Climax revisited in micro. A storm in 42. Tornado touching down, shearing the stadium's east wing. Debris rained like judgment. Bleachers splintered. Lights shattered. Milford held breath. Memories of arson flames flickering. Tyler and Nikki mobilized dawn. Crews from the co-op. Designs redrawn overnight. Town pitched in, Harlan's old rivals hauling beams. Ellen baking morale into loaves. Rebuild faster than original, Jordan's edition integrated. Solar panels glinting new. Opening gala. Rebuilt wing unveiled. Bands thumping. Boys in tiny suits beaming. Tyler spoke. Voice steady. Storms come. We rise. Nikki beside. Hand in his. Post-speech. A fan, gray-haired ex-teammate, approached. You changed us. Hayes. Sorry it took kicking you out. Tyler clasped shoulder. Took building back in. Ending humanistic. Not fairy tale. No tidy bows. But grace earned. Liam and Finn grew college scouts for one. Art school for the other. Both out and proud. Boyfriends at Thanksgiving. Tyler and Nikki retired partial. Traveling Route 66 in a camper. Tracing Whitman's roads. Milford visits. Grandkids on the field. Spirals flying eternal. One final dusk. Atop the press box. Now with a bench engraved for us. Tyler leaned on Nikki. Ohio hills folding purple. Worth the sack? Nikki asked. Arms secure. Tyler smiled. Lines crinkling. Every yard. Below. Lights flickered on. Welcoming the night. Pride. Rebuilt. Home.